Putting the lens on Grenada, its people and its possibilities. This is State of Affairs. Reporting this week, I am Tahira Natalie Carter. In this week's show, Reaching Out to the Vulnerable, government's extraordinary program to touch the lives of ordinary people. Also, repaving a link to the revitalization of agriculture. We have the story of MAREP's role on the highway to greater food production. And Grenada gets ready for the world, doing tourism's business differently for a better result. Abigail McIntyre, Karine Moraine, and Janelle Grant Hamlet all report from Grenada's heartland when we come back. Welcome back. Even though this is an era of structural adjustment, the government has articulated a determined policy not to leave the country's most vulnerable people behind. In fact, the Keith Mitchell administration has been adamant all along that no matter the challenges, it should not cut back on its social commitments. Not now, not when the ordinary people need them the most. Officials have said that in spite of the challenges, people, ordinary people, must remain at the heart of every policy. Recently, the government launched about 30 programs, all under one large umbrella through the Ministry of Social Services, that will touch the lives of real people in Hermitage and Hartford Village, Walker and Waltham, Belmont and Bushejou, and many other villages in between. Abigail McIntyre reports this week from the Heartland, where this new people's policy is set to affect people we know where they live.
I never one day regret, because up to this day they have been doing well in school, especially the little girl. She loves to read. I don't really have problems. It's not boasting and bragging of your children, but I will boast and brag them up through the RCP program.
Talisha Charles is the proud mother of twin Aileen and Shavin Hector, two among hundreds of children who have benefited from the Roving Caregivers program. Aileen has been topping the class all the way to 5th grade at the St. David Roman Catholic School.
As a student, from since she entered the grade 5 class, academically her performance has been outstanding. She has been able to top the class average and place first in last term's work. And generally as a student, she is actively involved in a number of activities in the school.
I never came second, only first.
Only first? In grade 5 or through all grade 1, 2 to 5?
From kindergarten to grade 4.
Twin brother Shavin is also a standout as a student who has benefited from the Roving Caregivers program. He has a passion for sports.
Shavin is also quite intelligent. He works well, but he's very energetic. As a matter of fact, he plays football. He's an outstanding footballer on the school football team, and he's also a very good cricketer.
The birth of the Roving Caregivers program was in 2005 under the then New National Party government of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell. New offsprings are targeted to receive an early start to an education, the foundation needed for success in school. Children from as young as 3 months to 3 years are enrolled in the program.
And on that walk we will drive down to town.
Every morning, 9 o'clock, we go to houses and we see children at home. We help them singing, clapping. So if when time comes, they have to go to school. When time comes, they're already used to the environment.
Yeah. And where's we going? Where's we going?
Depends on the child mood, we play with it. So that definitely you see that the child was in an excited mood this morning. So I worked on that and I built it and we sing along, we play it along, we read the stories to them and we follow the flow.
I've been in a preschool and there are times children come there and they don't have an idea as to what is going on. So with the Roving Caregivers, now what we do, we get them ready for the preschool so that when they are there, they have an idea as to how to go along.
Well, he's doing a lot of things. He's singing, he's clapping, he's making music and stuff.
A lot was taught under the program. So he going to pre-primary school was nothing new to him, but like a repetition. The teachers going to parents, they would have said, your two children are one of the advanced students, they didn't have to go through the point of having to say, they would have been the first to say, Miss, that's a yellow, that's a blue, that's a green.
The Roving Caregivers Program is one of more than 30 social safety net initiatives implemented by government to assist the less fortunate. A revolution is on in government now to ensure safety net programs achieve their goals. This comes in the form of a national social safety net policy framework that's designed to transform the way such programs are administered. The idea is to ensure beneficiaries receive a hand up and not necessarily a handout.
It's really a policy that will guide how social safety nets are administered throughout the Trinidad state. As you stated, it's the first within the OECS.
There are people who are left behind. And if we look at the statistics of who these people are, these are children. The majority are children. And then if you look at what kind of families and households they live in single-headed households. They live in households where women are struggling. And we also have challenges of looking at the risks and vulnerabilities from an individual perspective.
Persons were receiving from more than one program, so there is a reduction in wastage in that regard.
Political interference has been identified as among stumbling blocks to such programs, but under the new framework, the aim is to eliminate such setbacks.
It's really a good thing for Grenada in that so many times you hear that there are political interferences as it relates to social safety nets, or even other public officers giving favors to persons who are their friends, and the persons the most needy among us are falling through the cracks. This policy aimed at alleviating that problem.
The new policy framework ushering in a new era in Grenada's social safety net programs did not come overnight. It has been informed by widespread consultations dating back to 2009 involving various stakeholders including UNICEF and UN Women.
So the fact that the government has brought all of these together and now there will be a mechanism to coordinate that, it also helps the government have a better sense of really where the primary needs are in terms of getting people out of poverty.
Crucial to Grenada's new social safety net revolution is a new system called the Proxy Means Test, or PMT. PMT is designed to ensure those most in need benefit from social safety net programs.
So you would not only decide, well, I want A, B, C, D, and F to be on the program, but persons will be interviewed and go through that system, and they will be involved in the project.
The safety net having the means test, so that before someone is eligible, they must meet certain criteria, as compared to myself just saying, okay, I need this person to get something. Despite I make that, if they could not meet the necessary means test, then they are not eligible.
International agencies such as UNICEF and UN Women are keen to invest more in Grenada's social safety net programs. A new deal with the IMF to set Grenada's economy back on the right course also stipulates even more investments in such programs. And Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says where investments in social safety net programs are concerned, his government has no plans of letting up. For State of Affairs, I am Abigail McIntyre.
These are the images from across Grenada. This is State of Affairs. More stories from the heartland right after this. The policymakers have long said that one of the key ingredients to help resuscitate the agricultural industry is by making access to lands and farms easier. Now, Grenada is about to put its money where, well, let's say where its policy is. This is showcased through the execution of a policy of agriculture feeder road rehabilitation under a revamp of MAREP, the Market Access Rural Enterprise Program. Karine Moraine explains this current state of affairs.
When the heavens open up, the news is good for farmlands owned by retired school teacher Irene Johnson. However, for her, rain or no rain still represents a challenge, since access to her farmland is always a major difficulty.
As for me, I have to cross 2 rivers. You know, when the rain is falling heavily, well, you know, I have to stay at home because I'm scared of crossing rivers. So because I might like to build bridges, you know, and then the place does be wet, muddy sometimes. You know, if you get a road, it would be easier for us to go and come from the garden. As like if you have to carry down load and so, and you have road, well, you know, if you have a vehicle, it would be quite easy.
state of affairs made the journey with Miss Johnson and found that after more than 30 years, her problems remain.
With the help of God, I do it. Yeah, I mean, I like doing it, so anything you like to do, you enjoy doing, there's no problem.
To assist in making farmers like Miss Johnson's life easier, the government of Grenada has been hard at work trying to provide better access to farmlands through various projects. The hope is that farmers would be inspired to return to the lands, younger farmers would emerge, and economic growth would be further stimulated. One such project is the Market Access Rural Enterprise Project that goes by the acronym MAREP. This project, funded by the Government of Grenada, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, and the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, has a component that targets the development of access roads to farmlands.
So agriculture is a very important component of the project, and farmers' access to their lands is a problem in Grenada generally. There are a lot of agricultural lands that farmers simply have problems getting to. So it's an important investment in agriculture because of the expected return. By improving your roads, you like to have more production coming out of your lands. In building the roads, you're providing employment to persons, and it's good for the economy overall. There's money in the economy.
8 farm roads will be completed under this project. 5 have already been tendered out for contract.
We have to date worked on about five roads. We have tendered out all the 5 roads and has received back the tender documents. To date, we have completed the evaluation of the Granton and Granton roads in St. George's, which we have submitted to MAREP for the no objection. We are now presently working on roads Resource in St. Mark's, Beauplan in St. Mark's, and Belle Coco Road in Montreach in St. Patrick's.
The first of these roads to be constructed is the Granton and Granton Farm Roads, situated in rural St. George's in the farming community of Willis.